Hello friends, this video on how do organisms reproduce part 22 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So we will now talk about a very important topic of the hour that is called reproductive health. Now when I talk of reproduction, it is also very important that each one of us are aware of our reproductive health. So what do we mean by reproductive health? Let's have a look. So what is reproductive health? It is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being in all aspects of reproduction. So what do I mean when I say that we all know what is health. Health means one is fit and fine both physically, mentally as well as socially. That means physically, health-wise, he is disease-free. Mentally, that means he is not under any kind of stress or tension. Socially, that means he has got a good and respectable position in the society. So when he fulfills all these things, we say that the person is healthy. Now when I talk about reproductive health, I am talking about a good health in respect of reproduction. That means people can have a satisfying sex life, people can have a safe sex life, they have a responsible sex life. So whenever people have sex, why do they have sex? Because sometimes they have sex in order to reproduce, because they want children. Sometimes they have sex with this thought that they do not want children. They do it only for their pleasure. So it is very important that each and every one of us is aware of some of the things which are needed for a healthy living. So people should know if they are ready for the responsibility of becoming a parent, whether they want a children or not. Also, they should have adequate knowledge on the various processes of reproduction, how reproduction takes place, why do people need to have safe sex. They should also plan the birth of children, that how many children they have. Let us suppose if there is a couple who already have 5 children. Now, after that also, when they plan for a 6th children, they should actually know how many children they should have, how many children they can give a good and nice life. So they should also know about the process of reproduction so that they can take care of the hygiene, right? So that sometimes there are certain adverse effects of reproduction as well. I mean, not reproduction, some certain adverse effects of the processes which are involved in reproduction. So everybody should be aware before a couple gets into or they get intimate to have an intercourse. They should know about all the pros and cons of the processes. They should have adequate knowledge on everything with aspect to reproduction. So all these things taken together fall under the category of reproductive health. So certain things which falls under the category of reproductive health is knowledge of reproductive processes and organs. So far we have already discussed about the various processes involved in reproduction, the various organs involved in reproduction. It is very important to have a knowledge on all these things so that people can take care of the hygiene, people can have a previous mindset of what is going to happen. Care of the mother as well as the child, that is extremely important, because a mother who is carrying a child is very important. At the same time, a mother who has already given birth to a child and is feeding the child. So taking care of the pregnant mothers as well as lactating mothers and the child, all are equally important. Family planning, we should know how big we want our family to be. Whether we want 1 kid, we want 2 kids, we want 3 kids. So we should have a planning in our mind. Knowledge on STDs, that is the sexually transmitted diseases. There are a couple of very dangerous diseases which get transmitted while having sex, while having intercourse. So people should have a knowledge on these kind of diseases so that they can take proper precautions and can lead a safe sex life, right? So let us discuss each one of these in detail one by one. So first we will talk about care of mother and the child. Now, why do you think is so much of care needed for the mother and the child? Because if we look at the statistics, we see that a very, very large number of women die due to complications related to pregnancy and childbirth. Either while giving birth to the child or during the period of pregnancy, they die. And most of this happens due to lack of care and lack of knowledge. There are many people who are not educated enough in our country, who are not aware of the various processes of reproduction, who are not very aware when they should actually give birth to a child. So things just happen by chance and they end up being pregnant. So they do not take proper care of themselves. Sometimes affordability becomes an issue. They cannot afford to take care of themselves. So there are several such reasons which lead to the death of a large number of women. So what are some of the things that we should keep in mind if somebody is pregnant or if somebody is lactating? So proper nutritious diet to pregnant women as well as lactating mothers. Now why to pregnant women? We have just seen that inside the uterus of a woman lies the child, and the child also gets its nutrition from the mother's body. So the mother needs to take proper nutritious diet because a portion of it is going to be shared by the child. Similarly with lactating mothers, what happens? The mothers breastfeed the baby. So that means again a part of the nutrition of the mother's body actually goes to the baby. So it is very, very important that the mother is given a proper nutritious diet. Proper age difference between the children. Now sometimes it is seen that people give birth to a child. Within a year they give birth to another child. So that is something which is not right. That's because once you give birth to a baby, that baby deserves a lot of care, a lot of attention, right? So now if the mother becomes pregnant again, so in that case what happens? Now the newly born baby itself needs a lot of care. Now since the mother became pregnant again, so there is another baby in her uterus, so the mother again needs a lot of care. So who will take care of whom? The mother cannot take care of herself as well as the newly born baby. So that is why it is always advisable that there should be adequate age difference between children. So once a child is already born, let the child be of 4 to 5 years of old, and only then the mother should plan for the next baby, because in that case the child is already grown up and he can take care of himself now. So now the mother can plan for the next baby. So proper age difference between children is very, very important so that the mother can take care of herself as well as the child can also be taken care of. Planning a baby at the right age of the mother. So somewhere between 20 to 35 years. As I said, a female becomes capable of reproduction as soon as she reaches her puberty, maybe around 13 to 14 years of age. Many a times it has been seen that because of some violence or because of lack of knowledge, many people end up becoming pregnant at a very tender age. Maybe when the lady is some 15 years old or 16 years old, she becomes pregnant. So that is not healthy, because that time that girl herself is not very matured enough. Even though her reproductive tissues have become active, but still she is not that matured mentally. So physically she is ready for reproduction, but mentally she is not that grown up and matured to take care of a baby, because once the baby is born, the mother has to take all the responsibility for growing that baby, right? So a girl who is just 15 or 16 years old is not capable of taking the right care of the baby. So a baby should always be planned at the right age, and the right age ranges between 20 to 35 years of age. At the same time, the mother should not be too old as well. Maybe if a lady who is 40 or 45 years of old, if she plans for a baby, again that is also not good, because by the time the baby becomes 5 or 6 years of old, the mother will be too old to take care of the baby, right? So this age is the correct age to plan for a baby. Restrict the number of children, not to add to overpopulation. As we all know, India is already an overpopulated country. These days you see that all the cities, the metros have become fully crowded. There is no space left. So already there is so much of overpopulation. So everybody should restrict the number of children. Even today we see there are many families where they have 6-7 children, and that is not at all good, right? So because there are many adverse effects of overpopulation. So we will discuss that as well. So these are some of the things which should always be kept in mind in taking proper care of the mother as well as the child. Avoid unwanted pregnancy. As I said, if people are aware of the reproductive processes, how reproduction actually takes place, if people are aware of all these things, so they will know the consequence of having sex. They will know that when they are having sex, what are the possibilities that the lady can become pregnant, right? Because when the person is aware of the reproductive processes, they know that when is the time when the lady can actually become pregnant, right? So having a knowledge on the reproductive processes can actually help the couple to avoid unwanted pregnancy, because sometimes it is seen that a female becomes pregnant, and when she gets to know that she is pregnant, she says that I am not yet prepared to take care of a baby. So in that case, many people, what do? They go for some surgeries to get the baby removed, but that is again not good, right? So unwanted pregnancy should always be avoided, and for that it is very, very important that people should have adequate knowledge on all the reproductive processes. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more videos, attempt free online test, get free study material, find tutors and mentors. Thank you once again.